Hey guys, welcome back to CXO Conversations. I am Matteo Rizzi, GFTN, and I'm super happy to share this stage today live at Inclusive Fintech Forum 2026 with Leiming, Chief Sustainability Officer at Ant International. Leiming, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Pleasure.
So it is your first podcast, right?
Well, first podcast. Hopefully not last.
No.
Depending on how we do it, right?
No, you will
be gentle with me.
No worries, you will be great. So let's start by like a traditional, classical couple of minutes or your own background, and also take into the account that the podcast usually we don't have all experts, all fintech guys, all geeks. So let's even give a little bit of a perspective of anti-internationals as well.
Sure. No, that's great. Well, anti-international obviously is the international arm of Ant Group, which is a leading fintech company originated from Alibaba. You all,
of course,
heard Alibaba, and
me, I'm actually a fintech guy. So
perhaps Alipay and Alipay was set up to solve one problem when Alibaba started to do e-commerce platforms where China did not have very established financial service infrastructure, credit cards, etc. So when people started purchasing, selling things online, the how to pay became a huge issue. So Alipay was set up as an escrow service to solve that trust issue.
Okay.
The trust online payment when online sellers sell some product to online buyers, without trust, credit card without trust, and how you don't know whether you're going to get the goods you're going to buy and whether you get paid. So Alipay was set up to solve that issue. And then Alipay really morphed into offline payment, online financial services, etc. So, the success over the years in China, we wanted to also replicate in other parts of the world. So Anti-International was born from that perspective. Alibaba had a e-commerce platform called AliExpress, selling goods outside of China, and we acted as a payment processor for AliExpress. Then also sort of started investing local e-wallet players in Philippines, Gcash, True Money in Thailand, and etc. So we really sort of started from there. Now we Anti-International serve 1.4 billion user accounts globally, with 100 million over 100 million merchants, most of them SMEs. So that's the sort of in a nutshell what we do at Anti-International: financial inclusion, technology innovation, and open ecosystem to create win-win situation for everyone participating in this digital economy transformation process.
So you have a role which is super interesting, because Chief Sustainability Officer, I'm pretty sure that if I ask 100 people, what does the Chief Sustainability Officer do when he or she goes to the office, they wouldn't know the answer, right? But at the same time, given the global footprint and the number of transactions and the number of lives you touch, this, of course, is an urgency. So, shed some light on your role. And, as I said, because it might align to a lot of people.
Well, glad to. And I'm glad you asked this question. And I think, at Ant, we started our sustainability journey fairly a while ago. But we've been doing this, making sure that we not only create a business value proposition, but also community impact, environmental impact, etc., through our business activities. What we think sort of, we're very fortunate in the sense that we operate in a very much sort of a sustainability friendly business pillars. We started from a financial inclusion perspective,
Okay.
right? And financial inclusion is to make sort of traditionally invisible people to be able to enjoy the same level of financial services as big corporations and affluent segment of the community. So our journey started with the financial inclusion, which is a very good sort of a segue into sustainability. And also, some of the business activities we have generated, we also think about it, how through our business activities, how we contributed to low carbon footprint, how we generate sort of a business volume for SMEs, and each of the sort of the path we work on, we think about not only business proposition but also a sustainability proposition. Now, one of the examples I want to sort of highlight here is really the gamified program called Ant Forest, which is a mini program embedded in Alipay China. And when we sort of started Ant Forest, we wanted to make sure that the users using Alipay, not just as a tool, you make a payment, you don't use it anymore until next transaction. We wanted to increase user stickiness. And Forest started with that.
Like one payment, one arbol plant.
Exactly. So essentially, anything you do that has the effect of reducing carbon footprint, we give you energy points. For example, if you make a digital payment, we give you 5 energy points. If you take public bus instead of driving, we give you 20 energy points.
And because this will be done through the
exactly
platform, right?
It's all digital, right?
Yeah.
And also every day, based on how many steps you have, and you get so many sort of points. And it's a very interactive in the sense that you have a community where you play this game, you accumulate enough energy points that Alipay would plant a real tree in the desert area in China.
So how many millions of trees now?
So last year was the 10th anniversary of Ant Forest, and we engaged close to 500 million users in the past 10 years and planted over 500 million trees.
Amazing.
And those trees were planted in desert areas and created a lot of jobs. Yeah, obviously not just sort of Alipay itself. We work with 200 plus partners in nature conservation area, in forestation area, different funds. And so that kind of thing connected with payments and all the things we do created this sort of what we call dual value creation process, where we measure our business success at the same time our sustainability success. Now, my role really is to make sure that our strategic framework is implemented from a dual value creation perspective, business and sustainability, and business leaders are measured not only on their business success but the sustainability impact.
Amazing. So I now.
That's just one example. I have many others.
I will actually ask you another one, because this is an amazing story, which I didn't know. So this morning at the Talent and Careers stream, we had Dongji that works for you, talking about capacity building.
Yes.
Right? With the lab that you created. So the fact that someone in your team or extended team is working on capacity building makes me immediately ask the question, what is the relationship between capacity building and sustainability? Because, I get it as a common sense, but I would like you to enlighten me.
Sure. Now, let's sort of come back to what we call 4T pillar sustainability and business strategy pillars. The first one is travel. Travel is very much
40 pillars, 40 or
4T.
okay, 40.
No, 6T. Sorry, 6T pillars.
60 pillars.
6T pillars. The first one is travel, which is about offline payment. When travelers travel globally, you want to enable them to be able to use QR code payment, which is cheaper for long tail merchants, etc. So that's Alipay Plus. That's one of our business pillars. And the trade, global trade, making sure SMEs are able to trade globally just as easily as big corporations, right? Our World First, our Anton business pillars enable that, right? And then we have technology, which is a foundation for what we do, how we deliver sustainability and financial inclusion, products and services, and to enable our business partners to win. For example, we have platform tech, wallet tech, to really enable a lot of the small wallet payment players to adopt our technology to ramp up their business. And the fourth one is Thrive. Thrive is about digital financial services using credit scoring, leveraging alternative data for small users. The invisible, exactly for invisible sort of the invisible by the traditional financial service sectors. Small consumers, SMEs, they're invisible by traditional financial institutions. So we provide that kind of financial service for them to thrive. And then we get into sort of trust, which is very important. In the fintech area, how we build sort of AML, KYC, digital enhanced to protect sort of a consumer interest. Then one thing you mentioned, 10 by 1,000 capacity building. It's talent, right? So that is foundation of what we do, and not only we are able to ramp our business, but also uplifting the digital skills of the community in which we operate. In particular, with respect to developing countries, emerging markets, how we really enable them to learn the skills to adapt into this fast-changing world, especially with the technological innovation. So all the things together, we think we are able to sort of make sure while we're ramping business globally, we're also capacity building for the community we serve.
Amazing. So let me ask you, we are here in Kigali. That is a very sort of innovation-prone sort of ecosystem, right? And we talked this morning about 400 million people still, without an access to financial services. We all know that informal economies in Africa is, the leading sector that employs probably after agriculture and mining. I'm not sure, but it's the one that. So. How is what's your footprint? What's your strategy? What you're thinking, in coming to Africa?
Right. I think from our perspective, we've been looking at opportunities here. We work with partners, for example, M-Pesa and others. We try to sort of see what we can leverage our technology and our know-how in this part of the world. But our journey in Africa started a while ago when Jack led the young entrepreneurs initiatives in Africa for many years. And in Rwanda we have an office here. Jack we have this African hero show competition to make sure that African business hero competition to every year to encourage entrepreneurship in Africa. So we definitely think there's a tremendous opportunity, and I think GFTN has been doing this for 3 years, and we've been working with them. We invested in a company called Proxiterra, which is something that facilitating trade between Africa and Asia. So a lot of initiatives we start to work. We see opportunities, and clearly there are challenges, right? With 40 some countries, with 40 different currencies, and they all have different regulatory framework. Now, I think opportunity is really to look at how we have succeeded in Asia in terms of regional trade cooperation, making sure different payment systems will be interoperable to facilitate trade business activities. And I think there's a lot we can bring to this continent and to really encourage the regional cooperation between the two continents. And I think last year, I think the trade between Africa and China exceeded 120 billion. It's a very significant number and will continue to grow. So we want to be able to be in a position to serve that. And payment certainly is a critical part of making everything happen.
So now, apologies because you probably have been asked this question a lot of times, but I think that it is actually very refreshing for a podcast listener to understand how technology and sustainability go hands in hand. So, but everyone, usually people sees only the last meter or the point of the iceberg. They say, "Oh yes,
right.
Like Bitcoin is consuming a lot of electricity, therefore, digital assets is a challenge. AI is consuming more than." You see what I mean? So
completely, and I think I think if we had a conversation like this 2 years ago, would have been different.
Absolutely.
Now, with the involvement of technology, especially AI, creates a lot of new challenges, right? Now, every organization, every country is looking at a carbon, neutrality commitment differently. Now, I still strongly believe that technology and sustainability is go hand in hand. For example, with the development of AI, how you use technology responsibly, right? That is a very, very strong sustainability consideration, right? And technology is great. It's open to everyone, good actors as well as bad actors. We develop technology to make sure that we, identify deep fake photos, videos, and everything. And in this financial service sector with AI, a lot of things, documents could be forged without any trace, but we develop AI technology to make sure that we can really overcome those deep fake technology used scams, fraud. And also, in China, look at our commitment from AI adoption perspective, the data center, electricity consumption. We have developed, technology to ensure that we reduce electric consumption, even with the vast consumption by data center, by leveraging, use AI to make sure that you stagger the different peak hours and using the electricity in a rational and responsible way to reduce the consumption. So I think those are all the sustainability considerations in this fast evolving technological era. So they go hand in hand.
Yeah. I was actually, I was thinking the same, but you you living this every day, you can illustrate in a much more compelling way. Now, I wanted to talk about something of which one of the answer could be your Ant Forest initiative,
Yeah.
but is a how do you say it? Is an assist for you to talk about another example. And I'm talking about how do we teach masses
Mhm.
to be, responsible in terms of sustainability, everyday gestures. We are, especially in the informal economy,
Yeah.
we are talking about people that sometimes they can't
Sure.
even read.
No, that's a great question. I think a lot of times we go to conferences and people, policymakers and people in different financial institutions talk about sustainability. It's very necessary to have this, top-down kind of thinking. But at the end of the day, really grassroots movement is everything, because you can have all the sort of essays and conferences talk about sustainability. If you go back and, people on the street are not really doing what you try to, form the policy to promote, then nothing can be achieved.
Yeah.
And the forest is a very good example. And I'm sure initially some of the participants would participate because of fun of it.
Yeah.
Then they become a very much part of their life to make sure that they reduce carbon footprint. I think democratization of the sustainability journey is what we want to make sure we will encourage. That is what we say sustainability inclusion. So it's all about grassroots movement. Another example, I look at your shoes. Just came to my mind that you have a bright, shoes that's which is not Nike, but I want to use Nike because Nike. We've been working with Nike in China for many years to really recycle sports shoes, sports shoes. So we help them to collect and the worn sports shoes, and every pair of worn sports shoes recycled. Then they get green points through Ant Forest. And more importantly, Nike has a technology called Nike Grind. They recycle shoes and make those shoes for running tracks and sports facilities. And those are the things that are ingrained in people's daily life. They say we're doing good for the environment. We're, really not wasting things, and that kind of sentiment is ingrained into their daily lives. That make it, really sort of make sure that everybody will live with that kind of commitment.
I promise that if we do another podcast, and I will invite you to the next one as well, I'll have actually my Adidas shoes that are like a silver Adidas.
Yeah, we will work with Adidas.
And indeed they are from recycled material. Actually, you almost don't see the difference. The beauty of it is that you guys have the gravitas to engage with all these global leaders, and that can make a difference, right? Because there are plenty of initiatives like this,
right?
And I really applaud the fact that you can make it at scale, right?
Right. And I think, what I, from where I look at it is that, we're very proud of serving 1.4 billion users globally and more than 100 million merchants globally. With that kind of scale, there comes responsibilities, right? Sustainability is one of the responsibilities we committed to, uphold and really in this journey, and make sure that we use the platform we have, we leverage the partners on the platform to do good.
Leiming, I'm going to give you another assist. It is not yet a proposal, it's just an idea, but it starts from a curiosity. What is the most used means of reaching out to people in Africa? Radio.
Radio.
People
yeah.
in villages,
Uh-huh.
they listen to the radio,
True.
right? Or
Yes. Yeah,
whether it is through digital, but there's not many TVs and stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe there are more podcasts that we can do together.
We should do more than just talk about fintech and sustainability. There are a lot of things to form part of the digital economy, right? So many different elements that we can talk about. Look forward to it.
Amazing. I think that there is no best way to wrap up this podcast. Leiming, thank you very much. You did incredibly well in your first podcast.
Thank you. Hopefully I can do more.
And guys, with this very promising conversation with Ant International, this is a wrap.